Why exactly did the US House of Representatives just vote to ban TikTok? This was discussed on this week's episode of the All In podcast, and I have to say, I agree with the side of the show me the proof of this app actually doing nefarious things.
All right, seems like I don't know if we're 2v2 here, but
look,
are you ban or not ban, Sachs? If the language is corrected, are you ban or divest or what?
I'm ambivalent about it because I'm open to the idea of banning a foreign app in this way. But the reason why I'm a little bit ambivalent about it is because, I think that what they're doing has to be proven as opposed to just a bunch of hand waving over it. And when you start talking about what's happening to the Uyghurs at concentration camps and spying that has nothing to do with this particular app, and in fact, you've revealed this app doesn't even function in China, I think there's just a lot of hand waving going on, not a lot of hard proof. And I don't think that one little story in the New York Times I would consider hard proof.
I agree with Sachs.
Yeah. So that's number one, is I'm open to this idea, but I want to see hard proof.
Previously, to be honest, I was one of the people who, without really thinking about it, bought into the narrative this app was collecting all this data on me. And even some of the theories I thought about, like it was turning on the microphone in the background and stuff like that. I never fully believed it was really turning my microphone on, but I at least considered it to be a possibility, and therefore did not download TikTok on my phone for several years. I recently tried to find evidence of TikTok turning the microphone on, or stuff like this, or surveilling users, or just any nefarious actions that TikTok would do toward TikTok users, and I could not find any evidence of this. Now, to be clear, maybe TikTok and other apps do this. I think the possibility of this happening is not zero, as companies can be infiltrated by bad actors, and no software or hardware is ever going to be totally clear of bugs or security vulnerabilities, but I found at least no evidence of TikTok spying on people. And that, in my opinion, is the biggest issue by far with regard to this. If TikTok or any app is actually spying on me, obviously that should be illegal, and I do not want any part of that app. But is it? I mean, that's always kind of been the boogeyman around this app. At least people will kind of some wild speculation. But I've never seen any convincing evidence of that. The other potential boogeyman that prevented me from downloading this app were people claiming that the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, was collecting data from TikTok users. But what does this even mean? What would China do with that information, like the information that I enjoy stand-up comedy? Maybe this type of stuff matters more than I think, I don't know. But is this data not already all over the place? Because almost every human has a bunch of different apps, a bunch of different online accounts associated with themselves. Now, with regard to the issue of Chinese propaganda on TikTok, to be clear, I've not used TikTok for that long, but I've never seen anything I would consider to be Chinese propaganda. I've never thought, is this video trying to get me to agree with the CCP? And to people who say, oh, it's subtle, okay, well then you should be able to prove it then, or at least have some convincing arguments. Again, you can let me know in the comments if you have seen one, but I've never seen a very convincing argument that the CCP is subtly programming or subtly using propaganda on TikTok. And if you're going to talk about propaganda on social media, the greater suspects, in my opinion, are the pre-Elon Musk version of Twitter and Instagram. Even the Instagram of today. Instagram definitely has a liberal left-wing bias. I rarely see any conservative-leaning content on Instagram. Maybe this has changed somewhat since I don't use Instagram that much anymore, but I definitely have been scrolling Instagram and had the thought many times, am I trying to be convinced of something right now? What is happening? And again, so far I have not had that experience once on TikTok. For the most part, it's just random, funny, and entertaining videos. Sometimes the videos are a bit weird and totally out of left field, like some weird video saying I've been cursed if I don't scroll or something, but I've never seen any weird video that feels to me or that I think is Chinese propaganda.
Based on his information, he believes strongly that they should divest, whether it's to his group or another group.
But these guys have lied so many times about so many things. I mean, I just think that the public has a right to know. Look, if 100 million Americans are going to be deprived of using an app they love, why can't we get a little bit more information?
So if TikTok actually does ultimately get removed in some capacity, how is this fair, though, to people who actually want to use TikTok? Should, like David Sachs from the All In Podcast said in that clip, shouldn't people have the freedom to choose what they want to use? Is that not what America is all about? Nobody's making you use TikTok. I absolutely do not buy the argument that TikTok is more addictive than any other social media app. If TikTok is too addictive, then definitely so is Instagram. And that leads me to my final point. The most damaging and harmful application, in my opinion, is not TikTok, it's Instagram. So if that's the argument to try to get rid of TikTok, that it's damaging people because their brain, it's like, I think Vivek said it's like digital fentanyl or something like that. I think Instagram is the most likely candidate, or the greatest candidate for that title. And Instagram would be the application that stands to gain the most if TikTok is banned in the USA. Instagram is completely overrun by thirst traps, inauthentic captions on photos, and just a general fake portrayal of how life actually is. The way people have been conditioned to try and portray their lives on Instagram is, again, this is my opinion, pathetic and disgusting. Absolutely anything for likes, even if it does not map on at all to what you actually think, believe, or do in your real life. Some photo where all you're doing is trying to get people to look at your cleavage while putting the caption as "follow your dreams" or some other platitude is all over Instagram. You cannot get away from the high levels of narcissism and vanity on Instagram. This, in my experience, is unique to Instagram. TikTok probably has some of this too, but the algorithm quickly has shown me far less of this narcissistic fake type of content that is so common on Instagram. Instagram keeps laying it on, no matter how many times at least I try to scroll away from this type of stuff. TikTok seems like its goal is to try to entertain me, the user, whereas Instagram seems like the goal is to try and show me other people enjoying themselves. This is a big difference in my view, and why I think TikTok is actually a far superior product to Instagram. So for the United States to try and ban TikTok, I think they ought to show the public some proof of some nefarious activity. Because I don't think TikTok is so bad. And again, if something bad is happening at TikTok, I want to know. But if it's just trying to keep people engaged on their app, like every other social media app, I don't see that as a problem. Or at least I don't see it as a reason why this app should be banned. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you agree with me, or am I missing something? Either way, thank you for watching. Have a good day.